This is early May, spring 2023. Take a look at the jewelweed here out in the yard coming up. This plant has a yard pass. Beautiful, beautiful plant. You'll see if you haven't seen it. This is my garlic that's I haven't divided enough. And I have some other garlic further down the row that I did divide. And what we're going to do is dig up a little bit of it to see if it's actually ready. Here's what the non-divided stuff looks like. Lots of divisions to make. And the stuff that was divided is not fully developed yet, so we're going to tuck it back in. And here is everything divided. Make the pretty expansive row of garlic here. Hey, so I got my germination test done on my herbs. Let's talk about it. I used 2-inch net pots, and I also ran an identical test with Rockwell cubes. I much prefer the net pots. I won't be using Rockwell cubes anymore for growing. And I want to talk about some lighting issues. The only lighting I use doesn't quite seem to be enough because my plants seem to be stretching, even though it's like an acrylic roof. So in each test, I ran all of my 12 herbs. But on this side, with the 2-inch net pots, I also ran all my varieties of basil. And on the Rockwell side, I also ran my 12 herbs, but I also ran some other random type of plants. All right, starting on the 2-inch net pot side, we got the Thai basil over here coming in pretty good. But as you can see, a lot of these plants are getting real leggy, they call it. It looks like they're stretching for the light. We got the Genovese basil. I would say that germination might be about 40%. The chives, nothing. Germination 0, too old. The sweet basil, germination is okay, coming in. We got the purple opal basil. Germination is pretty low right now. The cilantro. A lot of them came in, got real leggy, got affected by some cold nights. And the same thing for the dill. I would say the germination on these is also about 40%. The red Freddy basil, you can see one there, kind of came in and limped over. The Persian basil, doing good, real leggy, look how leggy. Marjoram, about 40% germination, leggy. Oregano, very low germination, but it's there. That might be typical. Greek basil, coming in good. Mammoth basil, looking good. The parsley came in, got leggy, about 40%, just like the dill and cilantro. Rosemary, yeah, we got one. Germination might be expected to be low with rosemary. Emerald Towers basil. We got the spicy saber basil. Not really coming in too good. Maybe it died off. Sage. There's a sage. Again, probably germination on that is maybe even like 20%. Savory. If it came in here, it died off. And cinnamon basil. Doing good. Lemon basil. This one's already got its like second set of leaves on it. The marjoram. If it came in, it died off over here. Thyme. Same. Lime basil. Over to the Rockwool side. Indian ceremonial tobacco. Coming in. Basil, Genovese. So this is the second round of herbs also. Chives, again, nothing on the Rockwool side. Turkish eggplant. Zero germination, seed too old. Jalapeno pepper, zero germination, seed too old. Cilantro, come up, got leggy, maybe got affected by temperature a bit. Same with dill. See him come up, got leggy. My 4 o'clocks of every color, zero germination. Zero germination. Marjoram. Coming in about 40% germination. Oregano. Yep, low germination, but we got it. The other color of 4 o'clocks, zero germination. All right, red cherry tomatoes. These are super old seeds that I had saved from when I was growing them, and they're coming back really nice. I guess that's my own lineup now, my own line of red cherry tomato at this point. All right, parsley. Yeah, come up. You can see them like come over and die. Rosemary. Got one there. Could be temperature, could be lighting. I gotta get this stuff transplanted. We got the white cherry tomatoes. Looking good. We got green cherry tomato. Looking okay. Sage. For some reason, the sage on this side did a bit better. Savory. You see it come up. Very low germination, but coming up. Yellow cherry tomato. These one kind of come up and you see like they get the seed tip stuck on them, so they're not quite opening up properly yet. The purple cherry tomato. Kind of like less germination on that one. Tarragon. If it came up, it died off. Thyme. You could see one there. And again, if they came up, they died off. Black cherry tomato. The black cherry tomato doing pretty good. You would think this much lighting would be enough to make your seedlings not be leggy, but it's not. Like, I've done multiple rounds of trying to grow seedlings in like that much lighting, and they seem to still need more light. Now, maybe if these plants were like more adult-like plants and had fuller leaves and everything, they could thrive in this type of lighting environment, but not for growing healthy seedlings up to like a small plant. Just showing you some more of the legginess. Like, look how leggy those are. Look how leggy. Legginess in tomatoes is good because, I mean, you can bury them and they're gonna grow new roots. So that's cool. My absolutely weed-free yard, except for, of course, the beautiful jewel weed coming up. My garlic transplants from when I divided them. We got more jewel weed. Garlic. Get my garlic in my weed-free garden. There's a water dog. axolotl right there. This is my absolutely humongous raised bed. This is the laziest gardening method ever. You basically just dump your compost with your potatoes and potato pieces in it, and they just grow. I mean, those might have even come over winter. You can see them all potato plants. This is where I will be planting my seedlings and stuff. Anything you plant in here is going to grow awesome. This is my very fancy bird. Look how shiny. Look at those colors. They're like a hologram, like hologram colors. So fancy. Yeah, more mushrooms. I mean, basically any seed or like spore you throw in here or root is gonna take off like crazy. You can see I just tuck them in deep. I like to wait for a nice overcast day, such as this, to plant anything or divide anything or transplant anything, and don't plan on doing any division or planting and any of that during the hot summer. Got the seedlings sorted out, and even after adding light, certain types of plants are just going to get leggy at that height. So I could either raise the plant up or change the lighting. But I'm going to try and grow like continuously, like 5 plants, single plants in each row type of a thing under this lighting. Onions, I've got, all right, let's start from the top. Thai basil, I've got all filled. Genovese basil, all filled. Chives, none of them came up. I'm going to have to overseed them. Sweet basil, I've only got like 2 or 3 of them. Purple opal basil, I might have 1 of them. Cilantro, I had to move some over from the other grow with the rock wool, but that's all filled up. Dill is filled. The red Freddy basil, I might have 1. Persian basil, got like 2, 3. Marjoram, all filled up. Oregano, like 2. I gotta seed some more. Greek basil, all filled up. Other side here. Mammoth basil. Might need 1. Nope, no, we're filled. Parsley, filled. Rosemary, I've got 2. Emerald Towers basil, filled. Now a lot of this stuff I have to transplant from one little planter little pot to the other, but spicy saber basil, have to reseed it. Didn't do good in harsh conditions. Sage, filled. Savory, have like 3. Cinnamon basil, filled. You see how stretchy and leggy that's getting? Try and repot some of them. Lemon basil, filled. Tarragon, gotta reseed all of that. None of that came up. Thyme, I've got 1 remaining. Lime basil, all filled up. Biggest winners were basil, marjoram, and sage. A couple fancy moths from outside the yard. Got these two growing closer to the light. Let's see if they get less leggy. Told you guys, this is the lazy garden method. So weather like this, spring showers plant flowers. As they say, it's overcast and rainy. And I planted seeds yesterday. It's been an equal amount of time, 1 week, for these seedlings too. And this one looks almost equally leggy. This one looks slightly less leggy, but there's not doing me any good keeping them in here. Hail, June 27th, and this will be the last portion of my update for the spring of 2023. So I got the lights to just regular shop fluorescence, and I replanted everything. And a lot of these herbs are too fragile to really replant. And I'm telling you, I am done with rockwool. Rockwool may work for some types of plants, but that send down like a strong taproot or something. But I don't think it really works too good for like herbs and things, unless my basil, it has got the strongest immediate root system. My basil's doing good. That's Thai basil. That's Genovese next to it. That's a jewelry cutting. Just doing an experiment with that. I got one sweet basil back there. You see what I did to transplant them was I just made like a better hole in there, and I put them in and I squeezed it together on what was of the root and watered them in. And these are the surviving plants from when I did that. I've got a couple cilantro, a couple dill. I got one Persian basil. There's another jewel weed. There's another one, the other one. I got Greek basil. Right, the other side. I got mammoth basil, some parsley, that jewel weed, yep. And you see the dead weeds on them? All I did was like take that. These are like basically cuttings of jewel weed. I took them, cut them, stuck them, watered them. And a lot of time like the leaves will die back, but you can see there are live and new leaves coming. Emerald Towers basil. Couple of sage, cinnamon basil, lemon basil, lime basil. Now I want you to know it is not too late to plant herbs or leafy greens such as buttercrunch lettuce and bright light Swiss chard. That stuff grows fast. There's Bunny in with the jewel weed. Lots of jewel weed. This plant has a yard pass. And I like this. I don't know if it's actually clover, but whatever that is a neat little ground cover underneath it. Now, if you see like all these little, a Swiss chard, Swiss chard, Swiss chard, Swiss chard in my yard. And if you can see, mostly Swiss chard. And I just let the rain water that in. I didn't walk around and water that. Swiss chard. This is my hugelkultur of lettuce. I do have to water this because this can get like really dry. Butter crunch lettuce. And the garlic I transplanted earlier is going good. You can see I mulched it in with just some natural mulch. It's like bark and leaves and stuff like that. Branches. Very nutritious. This here is a huge hugelkultur. I got 3 sections, one that's developed and it's got plants growing in it, one that's being developed where I'm currently putting compost, and one that's starting to get developed. And I'll show you the difference in all of them. So we'll start with the one that's developed. Potatoes, super easy to grow. Like I don't even, like I'll put potato pieces in there and they'll grow. I am growing herbs in here too. These are volunteer tomatoes, but I just sprinkled my herb seeds like all over, and I'm having varying degrees of success because I don't know if it really stays hydrated very. Bro, I've been watering it. I don't know if the slugs are eating them. You can see like little seedlings. My tomato plants I transplanted are not doing too well because they were in the rock wool, I'm pretty sure. But check out these mushrooms. I wish I knew what they were. Because like creatures eat them, and obviously slugs like them. Look how big this is. Like that's huge. Them slugs. So I mean, I don't think they're like poisonous. And I wonder if the slugs are eating my seedlings out here too. But you see, I have like this was a tomato transplant, and it's in that rock wool, so the roots are probably struggling. Jewel weed. Here you can see seedlings coming up. Oh. I got a couple of plants out here that critters and bugs tend not to bother. And they're doing good. They were not in rock wool. They were just started in the 2-inch net pots. Here's the second section that is under development. You can see it's leveled like almost like the Chinese, think of the Chinese hill gardens, like steps. And I put wood pulp, wood shavings, hay, straw. You see I got a potato plant growing up here. You see plenty of cardboard in there. I just teared up old ice cream boxes. And that's how you build up on top of, basically you cut any kind of like, this is how it starts. It starts with like sticks and logs, and then you fill it in with like your smaller stuff, your wood debris, your paper and stuff, and wood shavings. See, I got like compost in here from the bird. Very fancy. This section here is how it starts. It's just a bunch of logs and branches that make the main framework. And you see I haven't like weeded it the way, basically I scrape it down. I scrape it because this is all like a hill. So I scrape it down to make more like a staircase effect. This is some kind of morning glory. You can see they're getting their first flowers on them. I don't know if it's perennial or just reseeds like a beast. Does great in zone 5. I'll probably start selling these. My daylilies are just starting to get their flowers out of their buds. You're gonna have to tune back in for that. All right, so I do have this stuff for sale, heavily discounted in my Etsy shop. I'd be lucky if I'm making like $2 per like sale on it. It's $13 for some older 12 varieties of herb seeds. The best varieties you probably commonly would want to grow for your kitchen. And you know, I got all kind of stuff going on. I'm beyond the poverty line. I'm not on benefits, and I'm commercial free on YouTube. So if anybody wants to hit that tip jar, it's appreciated. But some one of these days when I get a little extra money, I'll get some new seeds and sell those. Take care, y'all.